I have a question that I would like to ask you today. Are you repaying evil with evil? Are you repaying evil with good? Are you repaying evil with evil? Or are you repaying evil with good? And somebody may say, what are you talking about? I want you to think about your life the same way I have to overlook and think about my life. And I want you to truly be real with yourself. And are you one of those people that, just to be honest, when somebody do you wrong, are you one of those people that say, I'm going to do them wrong? If somebody didn't look out for you, are you one of those people that say, and I'm not going to look out for them? Are you one of those people who say, guess what? When they had their car, they didn't give me a ride. Now that they don't have their vehicle, I'm sure not going to give them a ride. Could that very well be you? See, are you that type of person who will say, when they had a pocket full of money, they didn't look out for me, and now I'm not going to look out for them? Are you repaying evil with evil? Are you repaying people who you feel like didn't do you the right way? So you say, guess what? I'm going to do them the wrong way. I'm going to read a couple of scriptures to you. And I'm going to start with Romans chapter 12, and I'm going to start with verse 14. And I want you to think about it. And I want you to overlook your life, think about your life the same way I had to overlook my life. Because one of the biggest things that I think we misunderstand and we forget about is that the Lord said, vengeance is mine, said the Lord. And I think a lot of times we often try to take matters into our own hand. And I know that I'm guilty of it. But do we think about the consequences that we're putting back on ourselves by doing that? So I'm going to start with verse 14. When you get a chance, go back and read everything for yourself, okay? But I want you to think about it. And it says, bless those who persecute you. Bless those who persecute you. Don't curse them. Pray that God will bless them. Pray that God will bless them. 15. Be happy with those who are happy and weep with those who weep. Live in harmony with each other. Don't be too proud to enjoy the company of ordinary people, and don't think you know it all. Verse 17. Never pay back evil with more evil. I don't know who's that for, but never pay back evil with more evil. Do things in such a way that everyone can see you are honorable. 18. Do all that you can do to live with peace with everyone. Verse 19. Dear friends, never take revenge. Leave that to the righteous anger of God. For the scripture says, I will take revenge. I will pay them back, says the Lord. Instead, if your enemies are hungry, feed them. If they are thirsty, give them something to drink. In doing this, you will heap burning coals of shame on their head. Don't let evil conquer you, but conquer evil by doing good. I want you to think about that now. Conquer evil by doing good. See, are you conquering evil by doing good, or are you just doing bad? Are you doing evil for evil? Eye for an eye. I want you to think about that now. And like I said, I can raise my hand because I know I'm guilty of it too. If somebody did me a certain way, well, guess what? I'm ready to do them a certain way. But I had to realize that I had to overlook my life and had to realize it wasn't leading me in the right way. And could that very well be you on today? See, it's hard to get to a place to say, if my enemy is hungry, that I'm going to feed them, when you know good and well they wouldn't feed you. See, it's hard to turn around and say, you know what, I'm going to give them money to put gas in their car, when you know good and well they wouldn't give you a dime to put gas in your car. If they're thirsty, are you going to give them a drink? You have to turn around and help them pay their bills when you know they never will help you pay your bills. But it's only some things that we can do is because of Christ. See, the only reason that you and I can be that way, the only way that you and I can live a better way and do things a different way, it's because of who lives inside of us. It's because of Christ who lives in me. And because Christ now is living in me, I can be a better me instead of a bitter me. And is that you on today? Instead of being bitter, do you need to be better? And the only reason that I know I can raise my hand now and say that now I can overlook things, now I can forgive, is because Christ. And when we honestly think about our lives are called to do what? Our lives is called to glorify the life of Christ. That is what our lives is called to do. We're called to live a life just like how Christ lived his life. And what I had to realize again, we over here holding grudges with other people, not wanting to help other people, but do we slowly forget about what Christ had to do for us? Do we slowly forget about the things that Christ did for us? See, we don't want to forgive, but think of the many things that Christ had to forgive us for. We don't want to help nobody out, but Christ had to continue to look out and help us. See, we want Christ to do us a certain way, but we still want to run around and treat other people another way. Could that very well be you? Because I know I was guilty of it. See, we don't want Christ holding grudges against us, but we like to hold grudges against other people. Every day of our life, we're called to imitate Christ. Every day of our lives, we're called to be more and more like him and less like them. On today, is that something that what you don't realize, that when you're doing evil for evil, you got nothing but a bunch of unforgiveness in your heart? And how can you expect to be forgiven if you won't forgive them? You want Christ to look out and help you, but you won't look out and help anybody else. And the only reason that you're going to be able to do it and do something brand new, Christ has to be living inside of you. And if you know that that's an issue that you're dealing with on today, we must go to the Lord and say, Lord, help me, because I don't want to be this way. Help me, Lord. I don't want to be this way. We can go to God if we need money, if we need a job, if we sick, if our kids sick. We can go to God about everything else. Why can't we go to God and say, Lord, I can't keep being this way? We're missing out on blessings, and we don't understand that we're really hurting ourselves instead of thinking that we're hurting somebody else, because we're putting ourselves in a bad position with the Lord. And I don't think a lot of us ever think about that. See, the moment somebody do something to us, what we ready to do? We're ready to go back at them. We're ready to get them. Well, they did this to me on my job, so guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to call and get them back on their job. I'm going to do it. They got in my marital business. Now I'm going to get in their business. Now I'm going to call her husband. We stay doing mess. And we forget a lot of times that the Lord said, vengeance is mine, said the Lord. Vengeance is mine, said the Lord. So if we be real about it, we can't pay nobody back. And to be real about it, we don't have no business trying to pay nobody back. We need to pray for our enemies. We got to get to the point where we say, Lord, bless our enemies. Lord, whatever that's in their heart they're doing, we ought to pray that they turn their hearts to the Lord. And trust me, that's nothing that we can just get with overnight, because the Lord had to do a work on me before I could truly get that way. Because for you to get to the part to truly say, I'm going to turn the other cheek, I'm going to overlook it, and I can still help you. Even if you cuss me, I can still help you. And the only reason why people can do that, because Christ has made a home inside of you. When you watch people up in these court cases, and when they done killed somebody's child from drunk driving, and when you can watch that parent, or when you can watch that family member look that person in the face and say, I forgive you, I want what's best for you, you know that Christ is living in them. See, when we do things like that, that lets us know, that lets people see that Christ is shining through us, and they give God the glory and they give God the praise, because we can't do anything without him. And see, what we don't realize, when our enemies, or when people who did something against us do us wrong, but when we turn around and do them right, we're pointing them and we're showing them Christ. So when somebody has done something to you that wasn't right, but then you can turn around and still treat them right, do we understand that we're, number one, we're being a light? and we're pointing them to Christ. And that little thing right there that we've done can make a person turn their life over to Christ and say, Christ, I want to do something brand new. I don't want to keep living this way, but I want to live that way. That can bring that person to have a forgiving heart. Do we ever look at the bigger picture instead of just looking at it like we're not getting things our way? But we want to point people in the right way. If that's you on today, just like at one point it was me, I could hold a grudge. I was stubborn, and that could very well be you. But has that grudge and that stubbornness turned you into a bitter person, a mean person, a nasty person? And if that's you on today, you just need to go to the Lord, and you need to surrender to the Lord and say, Lord, I can no longer live this way. If you know it's hard for you to forgive other people, if you know it's hard for you to do good, go to God and cry out to God while the breath is in your body, and you got a chance to make it right and get it right before it's too late. We are all called to imitate Christ in our lives. So the only reason that I can forgive somebody who did me wrong is because Christ forgave me. And that's the same way that you need to look at it. Whatever grudges that you over there holding, whatever got you mean-spirited and nasty to somebody, saying, I'm not going to do that for them because they didn't do it for me. Well, all you need to do, sister or brother, is look in the mirror and say, all the wrong that I did to Christ, but he still looked out on me. He still died for a sinner like me on Calvary. The Lord still gave me a chance to live free. And that's what you need to look at it like. That's the way that I had to realize it, is that Christ didn't hold anything against me, and I'd done so much wrong against him, but Christ forgave me. So why can't we forgive others? Why can't we put that aside and forgive somebody else and help somebody else? But if you're having trouble with it, you must go to the Lord. You must surrender to the Lord and say, Lord, help me. Take anything away from me that's not like you. Because, Lord, I want to be a light for you. I want to point people to you and not from you. And I understand, Lord, that I have to have a forgiving heart just like you. So let's seek the Lord and go to the Lord. And we know that we can start living a life that's truly pleasing to the Lord. And we can be more like Christ and point people to him and not turn people away from him. So always remember my closing. Self-examination is the best examination, and Jesus Christ is Lord, and he's all we have. Have a great rest of the day.